Waffle TV, and we're here today at the Masoni Hotel with stand-up comedian Nish Kumar. He's had two very successful shows the last 2 years at the Fringe, but now he's back with his solo show. Who is Nish Kumar? How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well. I'm very intimidated by how nice this hotel is.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very nice. It's very, and we just had to get them to start hoovering. So I now feel like quite the important place.
So are you enjoying the festival so far?
I have been, yeah. It's been a lot of fun. It's a bit weird because I've been in double act for the last 2 years, and so the show this year is just me speaking for an hour. So there's twice the number of words to learn. So that has been a challenging element of it. But otherwise, it's been really fun.
Yeah. So it was The Gentleman of Leisure was your two-part act, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it was a sketch comedy duo that I'm in with my friend Tom, and it's cultural sketch comedy. So it's a culture show essentially presented by the Chuckle Brothers. So we did 2 years up here, and this year we've been doing, we've written a site-specific show in the British Museum, so we've been doing that in London. But all the while I've been doing stand-up, so I kind of made the decision that this was the time to take the plunge and do my first stand-up hour.
Yeah, brilliant. So tell us a bit about the show itself.
Well, the show, we kind of sort of underknow about what to call it for a long time, and my agent said to me, the thing is, he meant it with all the love in the world. He's a very honest man, and he said, the thing is, no one's going to know who you are. It's my first hour. So I thought, well, we'll own that and call the show Who is Nish Kumar, because that'll probably be the question people ask when they're encouraged to buy tickets for it. And it's just all about me, and it's a lot of stories. I'm not really interested in anybody else other than myself. So the show is really very much an extension of my narcissism. So it's just all about me and stories about me and my life and my sense of cultural identity as well. Now that admittedly does not sound very funny, but I assure you it is.
Alright, brilliant. So what was it that made you want to get into comedy in the first place?
I just always loved it. I was watching things like, when I was a kid I used to watch things like The Simpsons and Red Dwarf and all of those kind of programs, and all the while it was a constant in my life. Whatever phase I've been going through, I've always had some comedy that I enjoyed. And I think when I first saw people doing stand-up, I remember going to Ross Noble at theatres and stuff, and I remember thinking that looks like the funnest thing you could possibly do, but it also looks like the scariest thing you could possibly do. And I think I've always wanted to do it, but I had no way would I have ever done it until I got to university and I got the opportunity to join a sketch group, and then they kind of forced me into doing stand-up, and from the day I started doing it, I absolutely loved it.
So, do you ever get nervous before you go on stage then?
Yes, and I get most nervous when I'm not nervous, because if I'm feeling really confident and comfortable, suddenly a part of my brain will go, oh god, this is all going to blow up in your face, and then suddenly I sort of oscillate wildly to the other, and I'm going, oh god, I'm too comfortable, this is not going to go well. Basically, the 10 minutes before a gig, I am the least fun person in the world to be around, because it's like a real roller coaster of emotions to be standing near me.
Yeah. Have you had any particularly memorable performances?
Yeah, my first year at Edinburgh, I was chased off stage by a heavy metal band, which was both my best and worst ever gig. I think there was, and I've been doing stand-up very long, and we were doing one of these gigs that just somebody had organised in a pub, and the gig had overrun spectacularly. So by the time I went on stage, I was going on an hour after I was supposed to be going on, and due to the eccentricities of the Edinburgh booking system, the act that followed us immediately was a heavy metal band. And so when I got booed on stage, which is a very unique experience, and I was just stood there and they were just yelling things, and for some reason a part of me, I was just like, I'm going to do my 10 minutes. I've been asked to do 10 minutes, I don't care whether these people are going to shout at me, I'm going to do my 10 minutes. And I did, and just sort of towards the end, one of the members got up, walked over to me, and I thought, well, this is how I'm going to die. But he just walked past me to the backstage area and just started setting a drum kit up around me, which I think is the greatest heckle in the history of comedy.
Yeah. So do you get a lot of hecklers at your gigs?
No. It's really weird, that's the first question people ask you when you do comedy. The two questions people always ask you are, what happens when it goes badly, and do you do heckling? Which is weird, because if you tell somebody, like if you ask anybody, you know, what job do you do, and they say, oh, I'm a plumber, they go, what happens when it all goes wrong? Like, that's a really weird first question for people to ask. But most people are genuinely I think, either too nice or too afraid to actually say anything. Sometimes the problem is that you talk to an audience member and they're suddenly like, oh, sorry, yeah, it's actually the opposite problem. That being said, every so often you do get a prize douchebag. Yeah. I say douchebag on this, but this is going on the internet, isn't it?
It'll be alright. It could be a lot worse. You could have said a lot of worse.
Yeah, I could have said a lot worse than douchebag. That's a cartoon insult.
So, do you have any sort of routines or good luck things you do before you go on stage?
Yeah, I have a very sort of, I live very near my venue, so I have like a whole ritual, but I'm able to contain it in my room because I don't have to do it in the dressing room. And then I obsessively, even though I have a tech guy in the room, and even though we do it every day and it's absolutely fine, I obsessively check that the mics are on, and I play with the mic lead. And yeah, there's a whole load of like weird little things, but the fun thing about doing as many gigs as you do over the course of a year is you realise everybody is messed up in their own little way, and everybody's got their own weird little obsessive things.
So what do you love about performing at the Fringe, and what makes it different from performing in other cities and other venues?
Well, there's definitely different expectations at the Fringe, in a good way, because people are prepared to come to it, because my stand-up is kind of long stories, and sometimes if you're doing a 20-minute set in a club, they don't necessarily have the patience to wait and see things through. So you have to compress things and make things a little bit more punchier and just make sure that you're constantly keeping their attention with gags kind of running through it. But in Edinburgh, over an hour, you can let things develop a little bit more. And you also, it sounds really hokey and kind of cliche, but you develop, over an hour, you develop a sort of bond with the audience. And there is this real sense that, you know, we're in this together. Whereas sometimes, if you walk out to like, you know, 100 drunk people, it's more like an adversarial thing, like it's more like a contest between you and the audience to see who can kind of win. And even if they're not sort of drunk or heckly, they can sometimes have that attitude of, yeah, okay, don't impress me, come on. Whereas in Edinburgh, the audiences, I mean, I've certainly found, I may just be jinxing the entire rest of my run, but certainly the first couple of shows we've done, people are really willing to invest, because they've invested money in you, so they're willing to invest their time and attention in you as well to sit down and do. It's been really fun, I love it.
Yeah, brilliant. So, are you going to go see any acts yourself, or have you seen any so far?
I've only seen two. I've seen Harry Hill, which was amazing, because I saw him a couple of times because he's been doing little spots around London, and I saw little pieces of it, and to see the whole hour, and especially to see someone like him, and he's on in the stand, there's this tiny little room, and seeing him in such a small space is absolutely awesome. That was really great. And then I saw Peacock and Gamble, who are absolutely wonderful, and their show last year was brilliant. It's one of my favourite things I saw, and this year I think it's even better. It's very good.
Brilliant. So why should people come and see your show?
Because I'm nice. I'm not the greatest self-promoter in the world. It was only yesterday that I actually learned when and where my show was on, and my friends are just exasperated of me because we were in a conversation. This guy said, "Oh, what time are you on?" And I went, "I want to say 8," and my friend said, "Oh." People should come and see my show because I am probably the best comedian ever. There you go.
Well, there you have it. If you want to come and see Nish, he will be performing at the Underbelly at Bristow Square.
See, look at the amount of laughs we're having just now, and I'm not even trying. This is me on, say, 3 out of 10. She's having a great time. We're having a bloody amazing time. We're in a lovely hotel. We had to stop somebody hoovering. That's how I am a huge deal. Okay, you may not have heard of me, but I'm a very huge deal. So, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, he'll be performing until the 27th.
Really big deal. I'm a really big deal. I don't think that people are getting. I don't think that the viewers of the drunks viewing Waffle TV at 3 AM on YouTube are really getting how big of a deal I am.
Yeah, so he'll be performing until the 27th at the Underbelly at Bristow Square at 8:20 PM. Apart from the 14th. I'm Lucinda Shell, and you've been watching Waffle TV.
Really big deal.
Thank you very much.